I know, I know it's been a while, but you know something, guys? It's gonna take a lot to take me away from you. And that's something that 100 men or more could ever do. Okay, this is the gospel according to Mark with a C. He is I, and I am he. Just taking some time to tell you exactly what's on my mind. Thank you for joining me once again, my friends. I hope all is well with you. Guys, let's dive into some of these stories that I've seen this past week, and I just want to share them with you and get your opinion on what you think about some of this, all right? Now, we're going to start off with a story that I like to call Queer Eye for the White Guy. Yes, Queer Eye for the White Guy. And what am I talking about? I am talking about your friend and mine, Don Lemonade. Yes, Don Lemon. You guys might have seen this story. By the way, this is not just about Don Lemon. We also have Tyler Perry in this story as well. All right, but we're going to start off with one Mr. Don Lemonade. Come on down. All right, so Don Lemon had a message for white guys this past week. Yeah, that sounds about right. This mixed heritage gay man who's married to a white man has decided that he wants to try to push the idea that white men are outdated, white men are dangerous. Well, let's get into the words of this so-called man himself, okay? Now keep in mind, guys, I know that my technical setup is just busted, okay? So if you can't hear it, it's okay. I'll walk you through it, okay? But let's start off with what this dude had to say here. Check it out.
Men who look like you, men who vote like you, and men who sound like you.
Wait, here we
Men
go.
who look like you, men who vote like you, and men who sound like you. White men, something is broken. Something is cracked deep inside when so many of you believe the answer to fear, to loss, to change is violence. Are you listening to me? I hope I'm saying it loud enough for the people in the back. Men
Okay.
who look like you, men who vote like you, and men who sound like you.
Men who look like you, men who vote like you, and men who sound like you. Now, I'm going to go on here and state the obvious that if this were a white guy saying this about black guys, he would be off the air. He would never work again. He would be all types of racist. Like, this is really disheartening, guys, that this idiot, this clown, can go on to social media or go on TV and say the things that he says and not get checked. It's incredible to me. Well, like I said, guys, let me just point this out. All right, this is Don Lemon, right? With one of these men who sound like you, like a white man, right? As you can see, he's very much, he's so in love, so in love. Look at him. Mwah! Kissing this white man all in the face. All right. I would guess perhaps he's the taker. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even like to think about it. But there's Don Lemonade with his white man. So why is he on social media talking about how terrible white men are? Guys, I keep trying to tell you this. I don't care if it's a man, I don't care if it's a woman. When you hear so-called black people talk this way, it's because they want you. It's because they love you. They want your attention. That's all it is. You know what I mean? And they just keep on doing this over and over again. And that's not all he had to say. Let me just bring this up here again. All right, this is what else this dude had to say. I guess there's a part two. Let's bring it back. Let's see what this. All right, hold on. Let's see what Don Lemonade has to say. Come on, Don.
But you're too dumb to even realize that because you're lazy and sitting in front of a computer or a phone and you're just eating it up. Oh, my God, look at what they're doing. All of a sudden, my heritage is going to be over. That I won't. I want to live in a country where there are white kids.
By the way, I'm assuming that this was a podcast, and you see some of the responses that this idiot is getting. You got this Maureen Marfell person, whoever that is, and they're saying, exactly, Don, 100, 100, 100. You know, you had somebody on there earlier who
White
says,
kids with
Don is
white
cooking.
food
Where is it at?
prepared to live in a country. It's just going to all of a sudden, my or a phone
There it is. Pass the collection plate. Don is preaching this morning. Moni, no love. No love. Maybe you need to have some love, Moni. That's the old rapper, the old school rapper, Moni Love. But that's not who this is, by the way. This is Moni No Love. No love. It just goes to show you. And then you have this on the side here. Speak on it, Don. Good morning, Don. Yes. Uh, yeah. So, unfortunately, people like this, as I've always said, have way too much influence. You know, this guy probably speaks to millions of people. He's got millions of followers, but people who try to speak some common sense, who try to be more diplomatic, so to speak, when we're trying to figure out all of these problems that we have here. And you can only get something like 1 or 200 views or something. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Unfortunately, this is what we're dealing with.
What they're doing. All of a sudden, my heritage is going to be over. That I won't. I want to live in a country where there white kids go to white schools and white people marry each other. What is wrong with that? I want to grow up in the country that my great grandfather grew up in. That country doesn't exist anymore, asshole. Wake up, white men. What the fuck is.
Wow. All right. So you heard what Don Lemonade had to say. Uh, White men are lazy, dumb, and the country your grandparents lived in doesn't exist anymore. Okay. Look, what I need you guys to understand, right? I already showed you Don Lemon is married to a white man. Okay? He doesn't hate white people. He's there for a reason. He's there to instigate. Okay, that's what this is. An agitator, a professional agitator. You know, he gets in front of the country and he acts like he's representing black people. And of course, because he's got brownish skin, black people like to back him up with all of the foolish bullshit that he says. And it makes everybody else think that he is speaking for all black people. And unfortunately, this is the game that we play. You know, so the hate produces more hate. And you got a bunch of white people who come online who see this and they're like, well, black men ain't shit. Black men do this disproportionately per capita. Black men commit more crimes and black men do, you know, and it's just like, man, when is like, when are people just going to wake up to the psyop that's going on here? I keep on talking about this and people keep on overlooking it and they act like, I don't know, we have no choice but to keep going down this road to damnation. But anyway, let's move on because I want to also point out Mr. Tyler Perry. Okay, so we got Tyler Perry here. Oh no, I don't want to get too far ahead. This is Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry speaks out finally. All right, now this one is going to play very, very softly, very quietly. So I don't know if you're going to hear what this guy is saying. But basically, he's saying that he is, quote, exhausted from watching white children get away with crimes. And he's tired of it. It hurts his soul. This is Tyler Perry. This is a man who made millions, possibly billions, dressing up and mocking black women. In the black community, we like to be offended by the concept of black face, where people who are not, in fact, black put black makeup on and they indulge in stereotypes, right? Well, how is that any different than what Tyler Perry does? Why he is not a black woman, but he got famous. He made all of his money dressing up like a black woman, a stereotypical black woman, mind you, and pretty much mocking that black woman. And go figure, the majority of his audience are black women, which is why I can't take any of it seriously. When people talk about, oh, this one was in blackface, can you believe what they just did? You got Tyler Perry right here. But anyway, let's get into what this dude had to say. And like I said, I know it's going to be very, very soft. But basically, he's saying he's tired of watching white kids get away with crimes while black kids are disproportionately going to jail or being held accountable. Let's see if we can hear any of this. Okay, if you can't hear it, Sissy Boy here is saying that he's tired of watching white kids get away with crimes because their parents go up to the judge and cut deals because I guess they're privileged or something like that. The whole idea of white privilege. Meanwhile, black kids are going to jail for committing crimes that are way less egregious, he's saying, because I guess they can't afford to cut deals and legal representation. All right. I don't know what prompted him to say this. I don't know why. I mean, I do know why. Like I said, it's a psyop. It's not here for black people. It's here for white people to get pissed off. It's here to perpetuate the idea of black fatigue, mind you. All right, so let's continue what this fool has to say. Oh God, speak up, punk ass. All right, now I can't hear it, so I know you guys can't hear it. I don't know. I won't know till the playback, but this dude is about as condescending as you could possibly be, you know. And let me just tell you something else about this guy, right? Because hypocrisy of the is the name of the game here. All right, this is Tyler Perry. This is also Tyler Perry. Did you guys know that Tyler Perry is in the middle of a lawsuit regarding sexual harassment? And who is he harassing? A white man. Okay, this is the reason why this segment was called Queer Eye for the White Guy. You got Don Lemon, who is busy taking it up the chute from his white husband, and you got Tyler Perry, who's chasing after this white guy. He was an actor in some of his television shows, and they want everyone to believe that they are somehow an advocate for blackness. In Lemonade's case, he believes that he can wag his little finger at white guys and tell them that this isn't the same country that white guys' grandparents had anymore. You know, so he's being a troll, basically. Both of them are being trolls. Both of them are useless, and both of them are making shit worse for all of us when they try to act like they're speaking for us. Meanwhile, chasing after white men, the very men that they say are so terrible. Somebody go find Tyler Perry. I'm sorry, white guys. I talked about this before. You're going to have to take one for the team. One of you are going to have to take one for the team. Go give this man a hug. Give him a kiss on the cheek. Something. Don Lemon, I guess his white man is not hitting the spot. I don't know why he's still running his mouth. You got your white man, Don Lemon. Why are you still upset? Why are you still looking for all this attention? Oh, that's right, because you're fucking sellouts. That's the reason why. And you want to make things worse for all of the rest of us because there are so many ignorant white people out there who actually believe that you're speaking for all of us. This is dangerous. And this is the reason why I speak about that. Gotta leave my son in this world, man. And things are just getting worse. It really is, man. And it's like I said before, it's not a natural thing. People have to try to make things worse because we actually do get along, man. We get along at work, we get along at school, in real life, we do. So why are these people coming onto the internet and trying so hard to stoke the fan the flames, you know, of racism and resentment and all of that? And why are we so easy, man? Anyway, all right, let's move on. All right, I want to highlight something else because this actually ties into that, right? This is what happens when average run of the mill black people start sipping on that Kool Aid or that lemonade in this case that Don and Tyler put out there. Now, look, we are not celebrities, okay? So for some reason, they get away with what they're doing because, like I said, as far as I'm concerned, they're both government plants, right? But average, everyday people, you can't do that. You can't do what they do. And here we have a Kansas professor who's finding that out, okay? So we got a Kansas professor at Fort Hays State who called white Americans dangerous animals and said that Charlie Kirk's murder was karma. Now she's been placed on leave. This is a professor, somebody who is allegedly intelligent or smart or whatever, right? So she's bad mouthing Charlie Kirk, which obviously these days is not something that you can do. And she said that white Americans are dangerous animals. A college professor. Keep in mind, like I said at the top, if you're a white person who said this, rightfully, you would be dealt with, right? So she's being dealt with. And I say, fine. I say that's appropriate. So it says, meet Nichelle Chance, assistant professor at Fort Hays State. She says Charlie Kirk's murder is karma and thinks white American men are dangerous animals. Okay. So it says, is there any comment from Fort Hays State? Is this in line with your views? And yeah. Okay, so this is the person here. Look at that mug. Oh my God. Listen, guys, hatred can twist you up. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure at some point she was an attractive person, but look at that face. Look at that face. This is terrible. This is what happens when you don't let the love shine out of your heart, when you don't turn on your heart light. This is what happens. She turned on her hate light and it's twisted her face, and now she's looking like, I don't know, the creature from the Black Lagoon or something like that, right? But like I said, if you want to keep on drinking that Kool-Aid or lemonade in this case, this is what can happen. You got so many black people who go online and white people too, and they want to start popping off all of this hatred and aggression and and resentment and things like that. And they forget you're on the internet and the internet is forever. You're not allowed to say stuff like this, man. Like this is racist. And people say black people can't be racist. I beg to differ. White men are dangerous animals. Dangerous animals, man. You're a professor. You're in a position of influence. And unfortunately, you effed around and you found out. And this is what I'm talking about. So many people out here are falling by the wayside because they're being spoon fed all of this entrapment that's coming directly from the American Society of Magical Liberals. You heard me talk about this before. All this DEI, all of this critical race theory, none of this is good for us. Why would you say that, Mark? Because of the fruits of it. You realize things were actually getting better. People were actually getting along until these liberals decided, you know something? Things are not good enough. There's still racism. Let's talk about it. Let's start chasing after people when in reality, really guys, all it was LGBTQ plus concerns piggybacking on black concerns. They are exploiting us. You understand what I'm saying? This is the reason why African American, or I should say so called African American studies, are being re examined now because someone has to go through with a fine tooth comb and take out the interests of everyone who's not African American, who piggybacked off of our struggle. We had our civil rights movement. We already had all of that stuff. We already made all of our strides. That doesn't mean that everything is 100% hunky dory. It doesn't. But I'm just saying, at what point do you start teaching that homosexuality and trans concerns are the same as black concerns? They're not. When do you start teaching that women concerns are the same as those descendants of slaves concerns? They're not. All right. But unfortunately, in the years that have passed, that's exactly what has happened. Our concerns through education, through hiring practices, through all of that have gotten hijacked and they've gotten contaminated with the concerns of others. Okay? And this is the reason why DEI is not a good thing. There's no reason why a black pilot should have their credentials questioned. It never was before the DEI thing, except maybe by hardcore racists. But now, since you want to force this into companies and make these things mandates, well, um, standards are lowered. And when standards are lowered, it's not good for anybody. Okay? If I'm in a hospital, I'm going through a life and death surgery or something like that, I want to know that the doctor who's performing the surgery is as qualified as possible. I don't care if they're black, I don't care if they're white. But if I know that that organization, that hospital, that administration is forcing these DEI um, initiatives, well, then, yeah, it's common sense. That would be some type of concern. All right. But anyway, guys, this is what I'm talking about. All right. This professor right here, she found out. Let this be a lesson to all of us out here. All right. Don't think you can do what these celebrities are trying to instigate or what they're trying to show you what to do. All right. We're not them. We're not in the big club. We talked about this before. All right, now let's move on to something else real quick. All right, I saw this story earlier. You guys tell me what you thought about this. You might have seen it. Okay, it says here pure evil. A white teacher thought it was funny to sing a racist version of the birthday song to a black 6 year old student on his special day. In front of the class, she mocked him. She mocked him with happy birthday to you. Uh, Wait, happy birthday. Actually, I know the song. It's happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. No, happy birthday to you. You smell like a zoo. You look like a monkey. Uh, I don't know. You live in a zoo. I don't know. Let's look at the video, okay? Check it out. Can we sing happy birthday to you? Oh, here we go. Ah, oh, that's nice. Isn't that nice? She probably should have stopped there, but it went on. Can I sing to you? Okay, go ahead. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, look like a monkey, and you smell like fun too. Surprise, everybody. Uh, okay. All right, now when I first heard this, I thought to myself, I've heard this song somewhere before. And of course, I had. If you watched the movie Madagascar back in the day, which I watched a million times with my son when he was growing up, they actually sing that. They sing that to a zebra, I think it is. It was voiced by Chris Rock. Uh, you know what, guys? It's hard. It's hard to um, guess someone's intention, right? But honestly, I see where this would be offensive to someone who's looking to take offense. But honestly, I don't believe, based on this context, that the teacher meant to mock him in that way. I know she's mocking him, but not in that way. You know what I mean? I don't think this was a case of evil racism. Uh, I do think it might be a little bit insensitive, being that black self esteem is kind of in the toilet these days, and you know that people are oversensitive, and so it has led to the mother of the son here, right? And she demands an apology after the teacher sings an offensive birthday song to her son. Now, here's the part. I want you guys to listen to this. A Florida mother is demanding an apology from her son's elementary school after she says the teacher's approach to celebrating her son's birthday was offensive and racist. The incident happened at Floral Avenue Elementary School in Polk County near Orlando. Desiree Prather told CBS Tampa affiliate WTSP the teacher sent her the video of the school birthday party, but she didn't find it funny. She immediately went to the school's office. Now, see, this is the part that makes me believe that the teacher really didn't mean any offense. The teacher sent her the video. The teacher sent the mother the video. She wanted the mother to see that she was singing to her son. Imagine her surprise when she found out that the mother went to the school's office. So anyway, Prather said there's a history of black people being described that way. And she's talking about as monkeys, which to her makes it extremely upsetting. And of course, she's true. You can see this on the internet every day, all day. People referring to black people as monkeys and apes and shit like that. It's always been that way. It's always going to be that way. The question is whether the teacher meant it that way. Now, we all know that little kids, especially around 5, 6 years old or whatever, they are constantly called little monkeys, because they're all over the place. They're climbing, they're jumping, they're throwing their own feces. I don't know. They're doing all that stuff, right? And unfortunately, this is where it is. Now, she says my skin is boiling. I don't even like racism. I mean, none of us do. And to know where we come from and our ancestors, and for us to be labeled like that because they call us monkeys, they're saying we're ugly, we act like monkeys, and those remarks I don't like at all, Prather said. So she said that it hurt her son's feelings. Now, that's the most important thing. I'm sure her son being 6 years old, he probably hasn't even seen Madagascar. So he probably didn't make that connection that that's the song that they sang there. So he's in front of all of these kids, his friends, and things like that. And she's saying that he looks like a monkey and he smells like one too. I don't know if he was thinking racism as much as he was probably thinking this is embarrassing. She just said that I look like a monkey and I smell like a monkey. And, I'm sure that probably hurt his feelings. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, I see it both ways. I think the teacher probably was doing too much, and she probably does owe the child and the mother an apology. And now she's learned something, guys. I don't think it was malicious, but I do think that, yeah, I think she's learned something. All right. Now, let me wrap this up by showing you something here because I did a story last year, maybe the year before, talking about the jab and how Kansas was suing Pfizer. Okay. Some of you might remember YouTube threatened to remove my channel, and, I got demonetized. I got, a strike for it and everything like that, even though it was the truth. Right. And I just want to read this story here. I'm not offering any misinformation. I'm just going to read the story as it appears because I think that the people do have a right to know about this. All right. And we still have the ability to inform one another, at least for now. That's why I tell people you better use your voice while you still can for more than just trivial stuff, man, because people are actively trying to take that voice. So I want to give you an update on this story that I talked about here, and it says Kansas is still suing Pfizer. Senator Blumenthal questions Kansas Attorney General Chris Kobach about his case against Pfizer. Now, Chris Kobach recently announced that Kansas wins its first battle in a lawsuit against Pfizer over the COVID vaccine. And the reasons why they're suing them is because they claim that it misrepresented efficacy, and they falsely claimed the vaccine was highly effective, 95% as relative, not absolute risk reduction, and prevented transmission or protected against variants. Now, I don't think that it's misinformation to say that that's been proven not true. I personally know plenty of people who got the shot, maybe even got the boosters, and still ended up getting it. And some of them got it bad. You know what I mean? So the question has to be out there whether they misrepresented the efficacy of this. Okay, so it says they concealed safety risks. They hid or downplayed the risks like myocarditis, pericarditis, and pregnancy complications, despite internal data showing the adverse effects. Now, this is the allegation, okay? I am not saying that I know this to be true personally. I'm just saying that it's out there because I believe we have a right to know. They said deceptive marketing promoted the vaccine as safe and effective while omitting critical safety data, misleading consumers. Censorship, Texas specific. Alleged conspiracy with social media to suppress critics of the vaccine's efficacy or safety, all at a state level. Okay. Once again, this is something I know to be true personally because my channel was in danger when I tried to actually put it out there. So, anyway, guys, those are a few of the stories that I was looking at this week. And I don't know. You can tell me how you feel about any one of those. Now, you guys might have noticed during the week, I kind of chop up some of these videos and I release them as shorts. So be on the lookout for those if you didn't make it through this whole video, which means you wouldn't be hearing this anyway. But yeah, so that's what I had to say about what's been going on. And I mean, there's a lot, man. There's so much. There's like barely enough time to touch on all of the things that I want to talk about that I see out there. But as I'm able to, I will release other videos, during the week talking about specific topics and things like that. But anyway, guys, thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I will catch you on the next one. I'll see you in the comment section. This is the gospel according to Mark with a C. Rock on.